Is it possible for Diablo 4 to have a comeback? Yes, the answer is 100% yes. And no, I am not even joking. But there is a twist to this.
So a while back, in fact, 5 months ago, I asked this question in my community post. I said, do you still play Diablo 4? There was 45,000 votes, which is quite a bit. And 68% of those people said no.
I think the fact that 30% said yes is actually amazingly high.
So here we are 5 months later with Season 4 having the massive itemization rework. And my question that I had for myself is, I wonder how many of those players are coming back. So I put out another poll just yesterday saying, do you think Diablo 4 Season 4 will make you want to play the game again? And I actually thought that not many people were going to say yes, but there was a surprise.
Almost 60% said yes. I'm surprised that this is not higher, honestly, because going back to Diablo 4 and checking the new season is like 5 minutes. That has been talk, you bought the game, you're probably checking out the new season. That's how it works. I'm surprised this wasn't higher.
Surprising amount of people. In fact, 56% of people that voted in this said, yeah, they're going to try it. That's a higher number than I thought. And I think part of the reason is because Diablo 4 is in what I would consider a bases are loaded type of situation. So it's a bit of a dorky metaphor, but I'm going to use it to explain my thought process. What? If I pull up paint here and we draw a, what do you call this, a batting field, a batting green. I'm not a sports guy, I wouldn't know, but we have Season 4 here that's trying to hit a home.
Call it the Thunderdome.
Run and bring some points to its team, which is Diablo. And the bases that are loaded are going to help it bring in those points. Now, there's a few different things that might help it out today with this. And that is going to be the first and foremost is obvious one. We're going to get the obvious one out of the way that everyone's thinking, which is an I for itemization rework. The reason that people might come back to try the game, the first reason to leave.
And this is the twist that I was talking about, okay? I think Diablo 4 is going to knock it out of the park with Season 4. But also I think that people are going to play it for a week or two maybe. And Season 4 is going to be the last time they ever play Diablo 4. I think that's what's going to happen. Because Season 4 is literally Diablo 4 completely crumbling and just becoming Diablo 3. The itemization will kill this game. Because I do not believe that there is a chance to have a future for a game that's literally only 2 item stats are more damage, more CDR. Because that's it. That is literally the only 2 item stats that are going to be left on Diablo 4 items. And for example, if you're a PoE player, let me ask you this simple question. Would you play PoE if they got rid of 99% of the affixes, suffixes, prefixes, and all of the item mods that could be on items? Of course you wouldn't play it any longer, because the game would be borderline unplayable because it would be complete garbage. And this is what's happening with Diablo 4. People are going to enjoy the new things because they are new and we enjoy new things, especially after, all the disappointment of 3 seasons. And these new things are clearly going to be better than previously. The Hell Tides are going to be a massive win. The itemization is going to be a massive win for the first week because, again, it's new. Everything new feels good. Everything new feels cool and you want to try it out. But after this, people are just going to get bored because what are you going to do in this game now? Nothing. There's nothing you can do because literally every stat in this game is now plus damage and there's nothing else you can do with it. Or plus cooldown reduction. And for defensives there's going to be plus HP. And that's it. Where do you go after this? Well, nowhere. The only thing you can do is probably add item sets or something like that to the game. Again, it's Diablo 4 is Diablo 3 at this point. And after Season 4, I think it's just going to fade into complete irrelevance. People are not going to talk about it anymore. The same thing is going to happen that happened to Diablo 3. It was interesting for a moment. People played it, but at one point everyone just stopped playing because it just got boring. It got really boring.
This is the itemization and the other reworks associated with. So Season 4 is bringing item reworks. We all know this. In fact, on May 2nd here, if I just show you guys this real quick, on May 2nd, there is going to be a developer update live stream. And this is different from the campfire chat. So there's campfire chats, then there's developer update live streams. And the developer update live stream isn't like the casual friendly one, like the campfire chat's more of a serious, here's the devs, we're going to give you an update on our thoughts, our changes, etc. And this is, of course, related to Season 4 with features, balance updates, and learnings from the public test round. So basically, their feedback on the feedback that they received with the public test round when it comes to this, in fact, itemization rework, the first example.
As far as... I haven't watched this, but as far as I understand, it's completely broken. Like, Season 4 is completely, absolutely busted. Barbs are one-shotting existence now. Necro minions were good, but they're getting nerfed for some reason, because I guess, you know, a necromancer is not about having minions. I'm not even sure at this point. It's just bad. I'm gonna play Bone Spear plus self-cast Corpse Explosion probably this time. And again, after that, I don't think I'll ever play Diablo 4 again. Maybe I'll play again a little bit more because, again, new seasons, you know, it's cool. But I see no hope for this game at all.
That we're talking about. So this would be the first one, okay?
After you remove complexity, you can never add back the complexity. The moment you have set the bar lower, you cannot set the bar higher. And this is what's happening here. It's over.
Well, base number 2, you might be thinking as competitors, for instance. People, attention span of people might be split at the moment. Well, Last Epoch is one of those. So if we say this one right here is Last Epoch, which is a phenomenal game, by the way. Do recommend it. I have videos covering that. But Last Epoch's a good game, but it's been out a while. So people have played it, got to experience what it is, and are either waiting for updates at the moment, or you just have the hardcore people left still kind of playing and grinding it out. I myself like the game.
Well, you only have the hardcore people left. After 2 months, pretty much the only people who are left are the hardcore people, or people who get bored. Again, I love Last Epoch. It's the greatest game of this style, in my opinion. But I'm not currently playing it. I'm waiting for Season 4 of Diablo 4, because I want to laugh about it.
A lot, but I'm waiting for an update. So there is downtime with Last Epoch. Well, one of the other competitors over here is Path of Exile. So people might not be...
So, I actually did get somewhere in Path of Exile this league with my genius idea of making an assassin, wait for it, a vacant or altered or whatever you call it, the flicker strike that uses, instead of frenzy charges, power charges. It is unbelievably horrible, okay? Do not do it. It feels so bad.
Playing Last Epoch or Path of Exile at the moment, because Last Epoch needs an update, and Path of Exile launched their league, but they had the...
Well, to be honest, it could actually work if I find a way to get frenzy charges early on also, because man, flicker strike does not work without big attack speed. Not gonna lie, boys, it just does not work at all.
Worst retention of any league in the history of the game. Now they did go back and fix that. They actually did an update that was quite good and brought some of the players back, but this league itself has also been out a while. So basically, because of these two competitors have...
You know what problem Path of Exile is actually facing? Why I think that Path of Exile 2 is in a pretty good timing here? Well, it would have honestly been good timing no matter what happens. But Path of Exile currently is facing a very interesting problem that power creep has gotten to an insane degree. And I'm not actually talking about real power creep, by the way. It doesn't matter now that, you know, at the start of the game, if you did like 3 million damage, you were like big cheese or whatever. I don't remember what was the actual big damage number, but you know, having 500k damage was pretty up there, okay? It was pretty good. But you know, I'm not even talking about the fact that now a build needs to deal roughly 20 million damage per second, otherwise it's bad. No, boys, okay? I'm talking about the currency power creep. I'm talking about the item drop power creep, because over time, this is something you can't fix, by the way. This is what people are going to always demand. The moment you give people more of X, they're always going to demand that same amount of X to be given. Always, without question. So, Path of Exile over time has increased the currency drops by 1 billion. So whenever a new league releases and it doesn't have a mechanic that allows you to, I don't know, get like 50 meters per map, people are getting pissed. Now, obviously, no mechanic has ever allowed you to get 50 meters or even a meter per map, but you get the point. You get the point. You cannot reduce these loot explosions. So if a league does not have enough currency drops, enough loot, people are gonna leave the game. That's where Path of Exile currently is at, and that's its biggest problem, because people are not gonna accept less. The moment you get actually less, aka the start of Necropolis, people hate it. People leave.
Having some downtime right now. Season 4 is sort of up to bat for free right now. They get to throw out Season 4, and people might either, let's say you're someone who just doesn't like Diablo at all, you might actually be bored enough of the other games just to try it out because you have the itemization rework to take a look. This might pique your interest enough, and you've been playing the other games for long enough and there's nothing going on,
yep.
You actually have a moment free here to try out the itemization rework. So I think if Season 4 really, to keep going with my terrible metaphor here, I think if this really hits a home run, knocks this out of the park, then all of these different bases are loaded here actually give it an opportunity to bring some players back. You can call it copium if you want, but that's how I see it.
I mean, Season 4 is going to come out, people are going to play it. That's how simple it is. But the question is how long people are going to play it. I think I'm going to play it for a week or two. I think that's how long I'm going to play it. Because I have never done a Bone Necromancer yet. Okay? See? So, you know, I'm going to enjoy it probably a little bit. But the thing is, it's like, okay. After that, I'm never going to look in its direction again. Because you can't... Again, in a system like Diablo 4 has, you can't add interesting things. The whole game, by the way, is also awkwardly made around the idea that everyone pretty much needs to be level 100. The whole game is currently designed that all the gameplay really starts at 100. And that's where everyone should aim, and that's what the game is balanced around. But not a lot of people even make it to level 100, honestly. There are people who have never made it to level 100 even. Or even level 80 probably at this point. And the game is just not designed around these people. So, considering Diablo 4 is literally, here's the early game, here's the mid game, here's the end game, the game concentrates only about the end game, and everything that happens here in the mid and early game, Blizzard don't care about it. So, I mean, how do you actually even make this game in that case? What do you do?
Currently. So this May 2nd update live stream is actually going to be pretty important, I would think, because it's going to tell us how much they took the feedback and how quickly they're able to change some of that feedback.
Since they decided to nerf summons after they're finally good for once in their life, while barbarians are still literally one-shotting existence itself, I think they didn't take a lot of the feedback seriously.
Related, there was a pretty good amount of feedback related to some quality of life issues, as well as the masterworking, the pit, etc. So we're going to see what makes it through going into Season 4 live. So if you are actually curious at all about Season 4, you're probably going to want to watch.
Oh, by the way, also, what kind of longevity can Diablo 4 even have? Because you need to understand, the longevity in this game does not exist. For the casual player, that does not exist. Because, for example, people complain about the pit. I remember watching... Who did I watch? I think it was Rex. And Rex was talking about the pit. Because I will never play a PTR, okay? I have too much self-respect for that. And he was talking about the pit. Oh, it does not give enough blah 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 rewards, so you need to farm it many times to get all of your upgrades, and if you fail an upgrade and it doesn't upgrade and it's bad... Essentially, you know what this what that is? It's literally just saying for Diablo 4 team, hey, remove every kind of grind possible. If there's something that I need to do to upgrade an item, I better do it just once and never again. Okay? So the idea that you can fail at upgrading an item when that just becomes by itself bad is kind of super sad. Okay? When your whole game is balanced around the idea that we cannot allow our players to do repetitive things, aka, farm better gear, what do you do at that point? What do you do? What is the point of adding the rift or whatever that it's called? I forgot already. If people are not going to be even allowed to actually do it because its rewards need to be quadrupled, so a person can do it just one time and never again. Like, what's the point of these systems even at this point? It's like Uber Duriel with Living Steel. People complained that Living Steel was the hardest to farm and the most annoying to farm. Guess what they did? They made it the easiest and absolutely most relevant to farm. And now Living Steel should not even honestly be a component because it's that easy to farm. How do you make a game when this is the cycle? Something gets introduced, it either destroys something that previously existed, or it's introduced, people complain it's too hard, and then it becomes a mechanic that you do one time in your life and you're set for the rest of existence. Like, how do you even balance a game around this?
Watch this, a developer update. Also, other than the itemization sort of rework and the hell type.
Imagine Path of Exile was made that you never needed to farm currency. Imagine how great that game would be. Imagine if the Path of Exile was just, you need to do a map one time and that's it, you never do it again. And you get 1 billion of each currency. Because, farming currency is stupid. Imagine how fast Path of Exile would just implode on itself. And that's what Diablo 4 is doing.
Type reworks and etc. We don't really know what the major mechanic is outside of the pit. Maybe the addition of the pit is the Season 4 mechanic. They could announce something new. We'll have to wait and see. There was the whole Iron Wolves reputation system leak. Maybe they're going...
Bruh, by the way, the seasons are so shit. Because what is a season in Diablo 4 at this point? Let me explain to you what exactly Season 4 is going to be. The Iron Wolf mechanic. Okay? Because there's no way it's anything else. You're gonna have like a map or two that are marked with the special seasonal event mechanic, and then you're gonna have a couple of places on the map marked with map markers where you can get a special Iron Wolf currency that you need to go to different map markers to consume so you get bigger rewards. That's what it's gonna be. It has been the same for 4 fucking seasons now. 3 seasons. It has been literally the goddamn same for 3 seasons at this point. Maps get marked. They stand like that for, an hour and then they switch. And on the map you have 2 points of interest. One where you get some random BS currency, and one place where you insert random BS currency for a bigger, longer fight with big rewards at the end. That's gonna be the Iron Wolf's season. Because that's been every single season so far.
Going to announce that. But until this developer update live stream and until May 14th when we actually get Season 4 out, ARPGs are kind of in a little bit of a dry state. There's not a whole lot going on at the moment, so it's a little bit of downtime, which is, I think, part of the reason they're going to have a chance with this one. The vote that I've done on the polls is showing that people are actually willing to come back. Maybe this is a bit of a biased poll because it's a Diablo 4 audience, but that was surprising to see. Normally when I ask these types of questions about, like, do you guys play it, it's pretty overwhelmingly no, but a lot of people seem to be willing to at least give it a shot and try it out. But that's kind of the important point. I think most people are willing to give it a try, and so it needs to feel good. The execution and the changes that they're going to be announcing here on May 2nd need to be good ones, because people are only going to give it a try. I don't think people are committed to, like, hell yeah, I'm going to put 1,000 hours into it. People are, I would say, maybe...
Yeah, again, I'm giving it a try, but because I'm bored, there's not a lot to do currently.
Cautiously optimistic, or cautiously will try it, but they're a little pessimistic. It's one or the other of it, so they're going to have to earn a large amount of the players back. To continue with this terrible metaphor, the things that could catch the ball and ruin the home run here would be bugs. If this is an incredibly buggy itemization issue, and there's tons of bugs related to it once the Season 4 comes out, if the balance...
I don't think this is going to be an issue, because there's a lot of bugs, but the reality is most people don't notice the bugs. Because if an item does not grant you 10% extra damage, bro, I'm not gonna notice it. No one's gonna notice it, okay? Except like maybe a couple of D4, mega fans.
Is completely off, and either all the mobs are one-shotting us, or we are one-shotting all of the mobs.
This has never been fixed. I don't know why you're saying it like that, my boy DM, because from the beginning of this game to the end of this game, there have been still mobs that one-shot us, and mobs that get one-shot by us.
Could be a problem once again. And of course, the classic connection issues on a season launch, if they have lots of issues of...
I didn't experience any season launch connection issues the last time. Also, I don't think even Season 2 I experienced any issues. That's because the game's dead, boy. No one cares.
People not being able to connect on the launch of it, that could do it as well. A great philosopher once said, you have one shot, one moment, don't you ever let it go. So I think this is their moment. This is their one shot here, and Mom's spaghetti. They got to nail it out of the park here. And I think that's sort of the situation they're in. If there's none of those issues that we had just talked about, then the people who are cautiously pessimistic might be more inclined to continue playing the game. If all of the optimization rework feels good, then maybe people are going to go all the way to level 100. And if the pit and the new boss system and the hell tides and all that feel good, maybe people are willing to grind the Ubers more. If they get all of those ducks in a row, the worlds and stars align type situation, it could be a pretty good season. But anyway, that's it. That's my theorem. We're going to find out come Season 4. I'm obviously going to be playing it and live streaming and doing all of those things.
I don't think this is going to work. I think people are going to complain about there being nothing to do in the game. Because, previously the thing that you could kind of do was hunt for items. And there were ways to hunt items, but the problem with hunting items previously in Diablo 4 was... there's just so little ways to actually hunt for the best items, right? Now that everyone's gonna have their best items, because, if you have 4 out of 5 chances to roll damage on an item, you're probably rolling that pretty often and easy.
Things that are required. You might see me disappear for a few days. I'm gonna be honest, I've had kind of a rough week or two lately. I don't know why, kind of anxiety and mentally wise, I kind of go like this sometimes. So
understandable.
Might try to take my first vacation. The only thing I've done outside of make videos over the past 5 years, I looked now, I've done like 2,200 videos across all the channels over the last almost 6 years at this point. And the only thing I've done other than that was go to TwitchCon. So I'm kind of debating sitting on some sand for like 4 days and getting my hair out of all of these garbage fast food cups.
That's pretty nice. Anyway, that was our boy Dart Microtransactions TV DM Skills. Have a nice day. Bye bye.